Welcome to the Best Damn Coach podcast. Today we're talking about what to do when you've lost your spunk. Spunk to me is kind of like mojo or inspiration or motivation. And I know for some it might seem that everyone else is riding the high of the new year, and you might feel totally opposite. You might feel that everybody has their gas pedal fully down and you're stepping on the brakes, or you're still in the driveway and you haven't quite turned the key over in the ignition. And the reason I share this is because I have 1,000,000% been there. There have been years where the new year comes and I'm feeling fully energized. I've got my family out there setting goals, and there's other times where I'm on the couch in my robe crying because I'm like, what's wrong with me? And so there is that contrast. Newsflash, PSA, you are not going to feel the same level of energy heading into every single year. If you are, I need to learn from you, because that is just not how real life happens sometimes. Every year treats you different. And what I don't want for you to happen is for you to stay in this funk and not have spunk. And I felt so called to support you if this is how you feel. And if you're riding high right here, and you might be inclined to go, is this episode for me? It is, because I promise there will be at some point in the year a time where you have lost your spunk. So bookmark this episode, listen now, and come back and go, oh yeah, I remember when Amanda said last year, this was me. I'd lost my spunk big time. And I had a mask. I was and it wasn't even a mask. I was kind of honest about it, but I was trying to like outwit myself, outplay myself around it. And again, lean into that goatness, which I hadn't quite elevated that, but I've been there, and I just feel compelled to like nip it in the butt right now for you. And so I want to, encourage you to know that this episode was designed with you in mind. I see you. But not only in last year, but in other years, I've always see so much emphasis put on this time of year. And sometimes it feels like the ship has left the dock and you're not in the ship. And it puts you into like a shame spiral. What's wrong with me? I'm not ready. I'm behind, is what I hear a lot of people say. And the truth is, you are not behind. And so I'm going to give you a couple just metaphorical things to think about to shift your mindset. And also, like always, you're going to get tangible goodness here from this episode so that you can apply and get out of this. So you're nipping it in the butt as fast as possible. And I want to say to that, I mean, it's I want you to be in control, right? If we're feeling feelings around things, um, they're there for a reason, and we don't want them to control exactly our destiny. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. The first thing, I'm going to give you really 3 things to think about to help you feel confident and steadfast in where you're at and know that there's more coming. The first is, guess what, friends? You can bloom all year. And you don't have to bloom in January alone or in September. It's the fact that, think about a flower, right? A flower is not open and bright the whole time. Like, in order for there to be restoration, they actually go into a season where they're not, right? And they're acquiring nutrients. Or even if you think about night and day, balloons open up in the sun, and at nighttime they close, they reserve their energy, and there's contrast there. So you can bloom all year. You don't have to peak in January or specific months. There's opportunities for you to go set goals and rock it out at different times of the year than just January. Which piggybacks here is, you have 12 months. The year is not a month. And in fact, guess what? Years roll. They keep going. They keep going. One of the reasons I love my law of attraction planner undated is it never forces me to just start in January. It forces me to pick up and go, I'm like, hey, I'm here. I can set goals at any fresh time of the year. And third mindset shift is, you don't have to peak right now at all. You can peak at whatever point of the season and the year that exists. And we all have different things going on that are relative to our lives. And the goal today, though, is helping you see that and not hang out of it, right? To get that spunkiness back. So I'm going to give you some really effective and short, tangible things to think about in order to get that spunk back. Sorry, you guys. We don't edit out sneezes. It's real life here. Sometimes I sneeze. So let's go into the tangible. This is where you get your pen and paper out. Number one, and the thing that I really wished I would have probably done a little bit faster last year when I was really feeling this, is ask for support. Don't sit in your shit. So, two ways to get support right now. You can also go back and listen to, I'll put it in the show notes, the episode previous, some point last year, called How to Create Your Get Out of Your Shit Plan. It really is a great supplement to what I'm talking about today. But when I'm talking about ask for support, lean into the people around you, lean into your spouse, lean into your friends, lean into the community, and also lean into a mentor. I find that some people are sitting in this place and they actually have built in mentors, but they're too afraid or shameful to reach out and just say, I'm not sure what it is. I don't feel spunky. I don't feel this energy. I don't feel this momentum. Because sometimes what we need is we just need a game plan, a step-by-step plan to help move us forward. That is little tiny steps. Sometimes we're so stuck in this, we're chunked up really high into this big goal of maybe a revenue goal or a certain client goal that we're not even sure how to take step one. And then we have shame around, well, I should know how to take step one. So tangible is ask for support. If you don't have support and you want that, the BDC is a great place to get that for sure. You can come on and use open office hours or be in our community consistently and ask for that support. And we will give you an action step to move ahead. Guaranteed. So tangible step number one, ask for support. Number two is take a step away and pour into yourself. I found for me that sometimes when I feel that this spunkiness is lost, I have this fear. It's like, oh my gosh, am I going to get it back? Where'd it go? What am I doing wrong? And then I get hyper focused on not taking as much action as I want. And so then the action I do take is pretty poor quality and it's not as high level. I'm not as creative. And what ends up actually being better is just like putting it all to the side for a moment and maybe breaking away for a day off that I didn't plan for, or breaking away and, doing something outdoors always really is helpful for me, or breaking away as like a family vacation. For me, sometimes it's almost a little bit of a sign when you've lost your spunk that you are in this place potentially of burnout, of exhaustion, or just trying to be too creative too much. So when you feel like you've lost spunk, I think it's usually a great red flag that it's time to pour into yourself a little bit more. And I don't want to use the term self-care because I'm not talking about going and taking a hot bath and taking a pedicure. I'm talking about more grandiose things like that. You need to evaluate at this point. Am I working on my business 7 days a week or even 6 days a week? Am I giving myself space where I'm not thinking about it at all? What's happening in my world that might be preventing me from really showing up as consistently energized or spunky as I want to? Which leads me to step 3. I'm going to double down on one of the things I said in 2 is move your body consistently. Underrated version of getting spunkiness back. And that could be acutely in the daytime when you've lost your spunk, like during the day and you start to hit that afternoon lull. Instead of reaching for a coffee or something caffeinated, go out and move your body. And also, I promise you what will happen is if you start to move your body consistently, there's going to be this re-energized feeling that comes into you. And you just feel so excited, begin to feel so excited, more confident. There's just so much data that supports this. There's so much, quantitative data I've gathered myself as far as the compound impact of movement in whatever way you want. That could be a walk, that could be CrossFit, that could be yoga, that could be a bike ride. It doesn't matter what it's for, who it's for. It could be your at-home workout from your TV. And it's not even really for the goal of working out. It's for the goal of endorphin pumping and consistently feeling that and just like tapping back into what that is. And tangible step number 4 is get curious about the loss of spunkiness. Start to get quiet and sit down and maybe spend some time journaling. Like, what's holding me back from feeling like myself? When I began to explore this, what I realized is that the business model I was in was great then, but it wasn't now. And I started having to ask myself hard questions like, if I could put all the objections aside of time and money and space, what would make me happy in my business? And I started to realize, like, I just want to be group coaching a lot. And I want less Zoom commitments. And I want to do more in-person work, right? And I started to explore. And so that meant I was going to have to make some transitions in my business short-term sacrifices for the long-term gain in order to get my spunk back, which is where I am, full of spunk. And I also know that there is contrast, that there's this constant cycle that happens in our lives where spunkiness is at a peak and spunkiness is not. And that contrast, I love the quote again from, I believe, Byron Katie, is contrast shows us what we want. So when we're in this place where we don't feel spunky, I don't want to hang out there. I can tell exactly that this place is not where I want to hang out. And so then I have to take some tangible action steps in order to get out of it. And this is why I said to you, I want to help you nip this in the bud. Is I don't want you to spend 3 months here or 5 months here. I want you to listen to today's episode and just ask yourself, what's my next best step? So this would be kind of the culminating tangible step. Is what is my next best step? Is it to maybe map out a game plan? If you're thinking too high level and the goals feel too big, chunk them down. Make smaller action steps. Is it to just recognize that this is how you're feeling and let it be okay and begin to cultivate action steps day by day? I don't know what it is for you, but I just want you to know that losing your spunkiness is not permanent and you can have it back, but you do have to put in the work. One of my mentors, Ben Newman, always talks about standards over feelings. Spunk is a feeling. We have to have standards in our business and how we operate our life in order to keep taking action, even when spunkiness isn't there. But it's way cooler and way more fun when spunkiness is there. But I always compare it to motherhood. If I am not feeling well, or if I am not motivated, or I am sad, or I am angry, I still have to be a mom, right? That's a standard I've set for myself. I'm still going to pack my kids' lunches. I'm still going to show up as the mom I want to be. And what if you took that same learning and you applied it to your business? Imagine the difference. And that's how I see my business is it's a non-negotiable. It's a baby for me. And my spunkiness around it might ebb and flow a little bit, but I want to have a game plan and an awareness to know that there's some steps that I am in control of that will help me take action. And it's okay if other people are in a different place. If your colleagues are like, I just set these goals and they're amazing and you're not, you can just say, I get you, I'm not there, but I'm doing things about it right now so that I can be there or wherever it is that you want to be. So today is just that reminder, spunkiness is a feeling. It can come and go. And I know what it's like when you're feeling like you've lost that spunk and you're in a funk. And today, I hope you're taking away tangible steps or a reminder. And come chat with me on Instagram. Tell me about what you feel like is holding you back. What part of this episode, of course, speaks to you the most. I am at A Walk My Way, and I would love to hear from you. And if you have a friend or a colleague that maybe this episode really resonates with, we always appreciate you just copying the link and sharing it, or leave us a review, especially if you're a new listener. I'd love to hear from you. What are you thinking about the episodes? What do you want more of? Tell me all the things. Send me a message. So I love to chat with you as well. So cheers to 2024 and keeping the train moving forward, doing things despite of our feelings and understanding that there's going to be contrast when we build business. We're going to have the highs and the lows, the spunk and the funk, and setting the standards and operating on them is going to be what really separates those that build thriving practices and those that do not. And I know you are one that is building that thriving business. And so I'm so excited to keep learning with you and growing with you this year. And if you need any support along the way, please reach out. And of course, our community is looking for amazing coaches that want to be the GOATs, that recognize that we can't do it alone, want to be a part of a community of coaches that want the best possible, really, art and craft of coaching and skill of entrepreneurship. So you can learn more about us at amanda-walker.com/best damn coach. So I will be with you guys in 1 week. For our regular episodes. And don't forget, on Fridays, we're releasing bite-sized episodes, a little peek behind the curtain of what coaching with me looks like and some of the cool work that we do with clients all the time. So until then, keep coaching them up, and I will see you guys next week.